Hey guys, welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. And this is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid Moeddin. This is the show where we talk about all the major talking points in South African cricket. Back to saying that intro. I haven't said that intro in a long time. So, yeah, I had to say it without any tongue tying and to do it fluently. And I'm hoping that I did it so, do it fluently. So, guys, today we're going to be talking about the big topic in South African cricket, and that is based on what has happened over the last couple of days. There are certain comments that have come out that have really struck at the heartstrings of so many South African fans. Once again, it's like that person that you can never shake off, that you always want to be by their side, and that person that we are talking about is AB de Villiers. Now, AB came out recently after his amazing knock in the IPL. He came and he spoke about playing for South Africa again. Now, particularly, he spoke about playing against, in the T20 Cup. That is something that we all are looking forward to. I mean, everybody's been speaking about that. Me in particular, I've at first been very against the idea of AB coming back to South African cricket because he never made himself available for international games. Compared to other guys where they said that if AB is available, AB must play. Now, my thought process around AB de Villiers has changed a lot. Since I've spoken to guys on this channel, since I've spoken to Umpo, Aditya, Lubabalo, listened to other guys and heard both sides of the story because everybody had different views. But AB coming out so early and speaking so positive about it, it was after the 76 off 34 balls that he scored against, can't remember who it was against, but I know obviously for RCB, and against KKR. And it was one of those situations where he was asked the question, but the way he answered it, I felt some sort of hope. Because he said, I haven't had discussion with Bauchi yet. We are lined up to have a chat sometime during the IPL. But yes, we have been talking about it. Last year, he asked me if I would be interested. And I said, absolutely. And come the end of the IPL, we will have to look at where we are at with regards to my form and my fitness. Now, there's something that I've noticed about AB de Villiers recently. And I think it's in his press conference, I feel that it was. Not his press conference, sorry, in his post-match talk. And also when Chahal interviewed him after one of the games, and that interview was obviously published on IPL's website, there's a sense of humbleness in him where he's a very confident guy that talks about his ability, but there's a sense of truth that he speaks. It's almost like a cross between being humble and also being confident at the same time. He spoke about his fitness and he spoke about how he's feeling with regards to his fitness and if he's feeling good at the end of the IPL. Currently, he's feeling like he's playing really well, but he's going to wait and see how he feels after the IPL with regards to his fitness and regard to his form. Now, that shows that he's prioritizing the opportunity of playing in the T20 World Cup for South Africa. That's my opinion of it. That's what I get from it. That he first wants to wait and see if he's good enough from his perspective, if he can give his all to the country with regards to the T20 World Cup. Now, we know that in that number 4 slot, AB will slot into this team with like a glove. But I'm worried about what it will do to some of the other players, and that's always been my worry. But let's talk about it with Aditya. I'm going to bring him on the stream because obviously he's been watching a lot of the IPL as well and seeing AB obviously bat in all 3 of his games that he's played so far. But before we get going, please click subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. And let's get into bringing on Aditya onto the show. So welcome to the show, Aditya. Great to see you once again. I gave a very stuttered start to this video, though. Trying to find my words with regards to AB because it's always something that I struggle with when I talk about AB because I'm always changing my mind about him. After he retired, the way he did it, I was very hurt as a massive AB fanatic like I was. And then there was a period where I was like, no, there's so much talent in South Africa. We need to give them an opportunity. That never happened from my perspective, because I always thought that we'd give those youngsters an opportunity at the right times, but we didn't do it. We didn't do it at the point when I feel AB left. Then they needed to replace him with someone that would be there for the long run. There was a lot of talk about different types of players that would do so, but they never actually trusted a youngster in the side that they would allow him to play over a long period of time and show what he's capable of. We're coming to this point now where South Africa's actually in trouble, you could say. We haven't really gotten a lot of wins under our belt. There are still question marks over certain positions. Boucher hasn't given necessarily certain guys that we maybe thought should be given an opportunity. And yet he's given others that haven't necessarily lived up to their potential. But the big talking point is obviously there's someone in the side that I feel is going to get hard done by, someone that's going to be left out because of AB's return. But we'll get into that a little later. I just want to know your thought process. When AB's playing the way he did against KKR and the way he did in the opening match against Mumbai, on a difficult pitch as well, a pitch that wasn't supposed to be easy to bat on. I mean, in his post match, he spoke about it. He said they thought that the pitch was about 170. They didn't expect it to be what it was, and for him to come in the way he did, and start hitting almost from ball one, shows his class to be able to adapt to situations. So it's very hard to leave someone with that type of ability out, especially when the World Cup's in India. So first and foremost, what are your thoughts about AB and and the comments that he made?
To me, it's a no-brainer. AB de Villiers, if he's fit, should be in that team. Simple as that. Though he was the difference between winning and losing in two of those three games, and that tells you that a man who's retired from international cricket for 3 years just plays the IPL professionally and is still able to rock up every single time and churn out the runs and make match-winning contributions. That's how good he is. And I understand what you're saying about some of the younger talent feeling hard done by if AB makes his return to the team. I understand that, and I also know that the circumstances around which he retired and some of those decisions can be questioned. But let's put that aside for now and think about the cricketing logic of it. Recently, I think about a week ago, the BCCI put out a tentative list of venues that the T20 World Cup is going to be played in, and it's obviously tentative because it's logistics and COVID dependent as well. But as of now, the venues that we've got are Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Dharamshala, and Ahmedabad, where the final will be played. And in all of these different venues, the challenges presented to all the different teams will vary. In a piece that I'd written for the magazine a couple of months ago, I talked about one of the reasons that South Africa don't win World Cups, and that is adaptability in multi-team tournaments. Here we've got a guy, along with Faf du Plessis, who have shown their versatility time and time again, and actually have very good records in multi-team tournaments. So the truth of the matter is that from cricketing logic point of view, AB de Villiers simply has to be there in that team. And his role needs to be very clearly spelled out. He mentioned in his post-match conference yesterday, after he made that incredible knock, that Mike Heston and Simon Catich had talked to him months in advance that he's going to be batting at number 5 this season. He was told months in advance. So when he started his preparation in South Africa before he came to the IPL about 2 months ago, he prepared, keeping in mind that he's going to bat at number 5 this season, in the middle overs and towards the end. Simple as that. That's the sort of clarity that South Africa needs to give him.
But you see, that's the thing that's where it comes in, because it's not South Africa that gives him the clarity. It's AB that needs to give the clarity to South Africa, because I think
Right.
Pouch made it pretty clear that he wants AB back. If AB's the door's open, always open for AB, and that if he wants AB to come back, he will talk to AB and let him come back. And that's always been the case with regards to the AB's discussion whenever we've asked Poucher. Now, the fact that certain players get special treatment is crazy, because who gets dropped out of that team when AB comes back? Because we still got Faf to come back into this team. He hasn't retired from T20 cricket. You've got David Miller that will probably bat at 5 or 6. You've got Rassie van der Dussen that has been our best player through all this turmoil. He's been our best player. You've got Quinton de Kock opening the batting. You've got someone like AB that will probably slot in at 4 or 4, probably 4. And how are you going to fit all of these guys in then? Bavuma opening the batting. You've got Yanaman Malan that's in good form. You've got Aiden Markram that's playing excellently currently. So all of these players are on form, and they put up their hand and they said they're going to play for their country. And then AB comes back and the slots into the side. What does that do to others is my question. What will that do for the likes of Rassie? Or the person that gets dropped in general?
Look, it's a challenge, but that's a challenge that every professional team has to face. And what can you do? Tell me. Look, South Africa needs to win a World Cup. Given current performances, and on this channel we've discussed some of the technical deficiencies, some of the strategic, I suppose, I don't want to say inadequacies, but the mistakes that have been made strategically. And there's no doubt that Rassie has been South Africa's best batsman through this period of time. There's no doubt that Aiden Markram is a world-class performer. Temba Bavuma is captain. He has to be back in the side. But what can you do? I think ultimately South Africa owes it to itself and the cricket-loving public to put out its best team. And if it means that AB de Villiers slots back in, then we should take it, because if he gives South Africa the best chance to win the World Cup, he should be in that team. And I understand the sentiment around one player getting special treatment, but we don't know what AB has been through in the last couple of years that he played for South Africa as well. And he's never spoken about it. So given the turmoil that we've witnessed in cricket South Africa recently, is it any surprise that a number of players are trying to sort of, distance themselves? What can you do?
So guys, I'm going to turn on the super chat and you guys can get your questions in. We've got a super chat from Chepo, so thank you very much for the super chat. He says that if AB is available, AB must play. He's doing too well to ignore. Now, when AB is striking the ball like he is and he's in such a massive flow, it's very hard to ignore AB de Villiers. If he puts up his hand now, I think after the IPL actually gives him enough time to fit into what I said before. I said if he lets us know before the time, enough time to be able for us to put him into our plans, then by all means, we can give him another chance to play. Because my concern was him saying this right before the World Cup, like he did with the 2019 World Cup, that he's going to let this go, and then right before the World Cup, he's going to decide, before they must announce the sides, AB picks up the phone and says, look, yeah, I want to play. He's not currently doing that. He's showing to the public, and he said it now publicly, that he is absolutely interested, and he was interested when Mark Boucher spoke to him about it last season. Now, I don't know why that wasn't communicated with the fans, that the last time they spoke, that AB said he's interested. He just wants to see how he's doing with his fitness, etc., to get back to speed. This makes it even more of a case in favor of South Africa that he's keeping, because it will get his fitness up, it will get his conditioning up, it will show that he still has what it takes to even keep and bat. So if India could pick Dhoni so late in his career, then AB might be able to do the same thing. You know what I mean? And AB can be that catalyst for South Africa going forward, and that's something that we have to be talking about. I mean, I saw over here top 5. Let me just try to find it. I'm just scrolling through. I mean, I saw I can't find. Okay, here we go. Top 6. Sorry. From Dopamine Bay, he says Quinton de Kock, Temba Bavuma, Faf du Plessis, AB de Villiers, Rassie van der Dussen, and David Miller as your top 6. Now that looks like a mean top 6 for me. A proper mean. You have a balance there for me, in my eyes. Quinton de Kock, Temba Bavuma can play the anchor role. Faf du Plessis, we saw what he did today. Excellent performance from him today. Those scoops that he did, those daily scoops that he did was excellent. Unbelievable that he had control. I mean, to go to a shot like that against a wide delivery from Chris Morris must have been hurtful for him, because it wasn't necessarily a very good ball from Chris Morris that he went out to. And this is most of my criticism of Chris when he takes his wickets. Sometimes it's not necessarily to a good delivery. Sometimes it's a mistake from the batsman. But this top 6 looks quite deadly in my eyes. Then, in the number 7 position, they're going to have to pick a guy like George Linder, someone that can spin, a spinning all-rounder. And 8, maybe a Pechlekwayo or maybe a Magala or someone like that can bowl. It's a bowling all-rounder. And then you can have your bowlers and then another spinner. I think Keshav Maharaj should be in the squad. I definitely think that he would be able to be utilized. I think they need to... South Africa, the way they're going to win this World Cup, in my eyes, is not necessarily if they pick the same 11 all the time. I think that if they mix it up according to conditions, that's how they're going to win. That's in my opinion. But then again, cricket is a form game. So it's not like in football that you can just make a couple of changes according to certain things and then you'll get a result. You'll have to hope that also somewhat of luck is on your side when it comes to that. So I don't know. It's one of those things where we don't really know who to pick. Now, I know I mentioned Magala in the number 8 position, but I'm only thinking with the selectors' hats on, because I know that transformation is going to be an issue over here. I see a lot of guys picking teams. It's all great to say what team you would want to pick. And I think if I had to pick my team as well and I had to choose just purely on who I think should be in the side, I think I might not also meet the transformation targets maybe. But we know that the selectors are going to think with that hat on. So if you guys really want to give constructive teams, then think with the selectors hat on as well. Think about it with transformation in your head as well to try and fit the transformation requirements, because ultimately you're just going to be giving teams that are not likely. You're going to be giving teams that you would want, which is all great. And I understand that fully, and I respect your teams that you're giving, because that's the way it should be. But on the other hand, I think give teams that you think South Africa would actually pick. With this whole thing that's happening currently with the minister, if he gets involved, if they create new rules and the rules are accepted, I think transformation is going to be even more rife than it currently is. Or the quota system, or the quotas that they're going to be picking on. I personally believe that they should rather just pick on merit for the World Cup, because it's a tournament. It's a tournament that I feel South Africa needs to win, and they should just pick their best 11. And if they do pick their best 11, they'll realize that there are a lot of players of color that they can pick that will fit into the side. So naturally, there will be players of color. So it's just about honoring that as well with regards to this. There's so many players that are in the mix. There's so many players we want to talk about. But today it's just the AB show. We're going to be talking about AB specifically. And that's what me and Aditya are going to be talking about. For you, one more point. For you, Aditya, do you feel that the IPL will be enough for AB to put up his hand and say he's ready to play for South Africa and for him to be selected? Or do you believe that AB should maybe play one of the South African games or series, international series before the World Cup?
Definitely. I think the IPL should be the IPL will form the basis for why he should be in that team. But ultimately, I think he should play at least two series with the South African team, so that everyone can understand each other's roles and responsibilities, and um, develop that chemistry in the lead up to the T20 World Cup. And I certainly think that I don't know what we've got: West Indies, Ireland, India, and then the World Cup, right?
Sorry.
We've got West Indies, Ireland, India,
Yes.
and then the World Cup.
So I think it's Ireland. I think it might be Ireland first, and then the West Indies. If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Okay, so Ireland, and then Sri Lanka, and then India, and then the World Cup. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that India game might be a smart decision for them to play. I mean, even Sri Lanka.
I do think he should be playing at least two series before he gets to the World Cup, and he definitely has to be. And if he's playing the World Cup, he definitely has to be playing that series against India. Very important,
Hmm.
because the timing of it is so tricky that if South Africa lose that series against India, it's going to dent their confidence going into the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And
100%.
uh, like if India lose that series, I don't think it'll affect them that much, because I think India generally tend to sort of step it up in ICC tournaments. So I think they'll figure out a way. But I think if South Africa don't do particularly well in that series, then that's going to be a problem. But in saying that, if AB de Villiers plays, then he should certainly play two series before the World Cup.
I know you say quota system destroys South African cricket, but I don't think if the quota system wasn't in place, I don't think we would ever see a Kagiso Rabada, a Lungi Ngidi, a Temba Bavuma, a Makayantini, all of them come through the system. Hashim Amla, Herschel Gibbs. If the quota system was never implemented, I don't think we would have seen these guys. To be honest, so I don't necessarily agree with that. I do believe that there should be things in place in the grassroots level and in domestic cricket that promotes guys and gives people opportunities a lot faster. I know someone said that we're not playing India, but India is supposed to be the last of the series that we get before the World Cup. So Sri Lanka's before that. So that's what we've heard. Obviously, it needs to be 100% confirmed because we don't know what's happening with Cricket South Africa currently, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens in this week coming up. I'm just going to play one more, put one more on the screen because you've been a loyal supporter and I always see you in the comment section. He says a politically correct team would be Quinton de Kock, Malan, Temba at 3, Faf, Rassi, Miller. He doesn't want AB in the team. Andile, Linda, Magala, KG, and Nokia. That means no Kyle, Aiden, Morris, Mulder, more deserving players. That's what he says. So that's his side that he is picking for if he had to pick a World Cup team. But guys, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. We will do something about quotas to explain how everything works at some point. I just need to get my ducks in a row, get the right people on here to be able to get the facts properly, so that you guys don't get the wrong ideas, etc., and I get the right guests on the show. Thanks a lot, Aditya, for coming on the show. Thanks for the super chat to the guy that has given us a super chat, Seppo. Thanks a lot for that. And to all the viewers out there, thanks for tuning in. And I hope you guys enjoy your day, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the IPL games, of course, too. We didn't talk about the Super League in football because I think that needs to be held for maybe a podcast show, and where I have Paul and all the other guys on as well, because I don't think Aditya is the biggest football fan. So it's not something that we're going to be talking about over today's stream. But guys, follow us on TikTok. We're going to be giving short little clips on there as well. I'm still trying to figure out how everything works over there on that side, but we will be giving small little clips on that to lead people to come. Tell people to subscribe to this channel, please. Like this video, subscribe, share, and do all of those things. Get involved with regards to that. I would like you guys to tell all your friends that you know in South Africa that love cricket. Tell them to subscribe to this channel so that we can grow this family. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everyone.